What's up, everybody? It's Greg, host of the Arc of Wrestling podcast. We're here doing another episode for you guys. This episode is the Payback review show, where we're going to be reviewing tonight's WWE Payback 2014 pay-per-view. Well, not technically pay-per-view, because it's on the WWE Network, and not a lot of people pay for this shit anymore, except the $9.99 for the WWE Network, so go buy that shit. Tonight, joining us, we got Ryan, Doug.
Woo!
We got Death.
Hello.
Took you long enough, bastard. Mike's currently in the process of doing something right now, so he will be with us very shortly. And one of the newest members of the Art of Wrestling podcast, possibly, he's a rookie right now, Mark. Say hi, Mark.
At your service.
Mark Rensis. You're going to hear me say that a couple times probably during this podcast, because I'm a shit. I don't know. Anyways, tonight was Payback. Wow. Quick review, just to start it off. Oh, and also, I want you guys to go check out, really quickly, before we get into everything, go check out Senshudo.tv. That is, Senshudo. If you like New Legacy and you like It's Raining Men, go check out Senshudo. They have a lot of really great casters over there who just cast almost all day, every day. And they are one of the strongest and best communities we've ever been with. So go check them out. Also remember to go contact us over on twitter.com/arcofwrestling. That's where we are constantly. So yeah, let's get into Payback. Payback, quick review. Really good show.
Yep.
I thought it was probably one of the best. Actually, it was 100 times % better than Extreme Rules. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Just the entire structure of the show, from top to bottom, mid-card, all the way to the main event, everything it worked very well. What did you think, Doug? Quick review. What would you give a quick review to Payback?
Quick review, 8 out of 10. Every match was at least good to great, even though I didn't agree with one of the endings. We'll get to that later. And one of the matches started off way too slow. We'll get to that later. It was overall great.
Yeah. It was very, very solid pay-per-view throughout. Let's get into one of the first matches of the night. It's the pre-show match. We had El Torito versus Hornswoggle in a hair versus mask match. This is the third match these guys have been in. El Torito taking both of those matches. What was so bad about this match, guys? What made this match so different from their WLC match that they had?
They didn't have many tables and many ladders and many chairs. And a mini announce table or a mini ref or a mini announcer.
Or Micro Cole.
Oh, the entire setup of how... Hold on. The entire setup of how the WLC match was, there was just constantly things going on, but what they made this pre-show match into was it was a one-on-one midgets match. You know, plain simple, let's throw that out there. And it didn't have the flow that made the WLC match so special, you know? It didn't... McIntyre and... Or 3MB, how I say, and Los Matadores, they were kind of stuck outside. They couldn't get too much involved, even though they did just end up in the ring because they needed to get them in there. Hornswoggle and El Torito were not going to hold that match for that long. I would say that the Chicago crowd, being it was the first match of the night, got into it a little bit. So it wasn't like they were completely dead to the match.
CM Punk.
Those CM Punk chants were fucking on point tonight. Not too much later on in the show, though. We'll get to that.
For reasons.
We'll get to that with the opening segment of the actual pay-per-view. So, really quickly, guys, what were your thoughts, your opinions about this pre-show match? Mark, starting with you.
Liked it. Thought it was pretty good. Not nearly as good, as you mentioned, as the WLC match. And I agree with you. I think they decided to make it a midget match, which was completely unnecessary. When they were much more of a straight match in the WLC, they performed very, very well when they just treated it as a match. in this match, there was a comedic element that didn't connect. And I think part of the reason for that is because we now know that they can wrestle straight. So, yeah, I thought it was good. It was not great.
Yeah, I would kind of point out there that even Hornswoggle kind of looked like he was getting into the match. He pulled out a pretty impressive moonsault, which didn't connect. I was surprised that Hornswoggle could kind of get in there and wrestle around with Torito, because I know Torito's potential, like, especially against much of the larger athletes in the roster.
Yep.
Doug, what do you think of the pre-show?
Well, in all fairness, Hornswoggle is a wrestler too. That's how he got in there, but he just hasn't wrestled for so long. Everyone just forgets.
Well, I think not a lot of people know Torito's background in Mexico as well. He's not just like any regular little person in wrestling. He's someone.
I think anyone sees him just do those jumping on the ropes thing, and anyone can put together, oh, this guy can do a thing.
Oh yeah. So yeah, what did you think of the pre-show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fine for what it was. It's just sort of fell flat.
Let me throw that out to you. Do you think this is gonna close their feud?
Of course not.
Or do you think WWE's gonna fucking milk the shit out of this until SummerSlam?
Hornswoggle's extra pissed if you saw the post show, so yeah, this is gonna at least go for one more.
At least another Money in the Bank match? I could probably see that. Maybe just going for that last stretch. Let's go into...
So it's going to be like Money in the Piggy Bank?
Oh, no! But what would they go after? Maybe like... Oh, I don't know. That would be stupid. Let's go into the actual pay-per-view, WWE Payback 2014. Starting with our first match, Sheamus versus Cesaro. Now, before we actually get into the match, before Cesaro made his entrance, Paul Heyman decided to come out and introduce his client. During this promo, this fan started a CM Punk chant, and Heyman decides that he's going to take this opportunity to talk about Punk. Not too long, he just mentions that he's not there. He's not actually there at the arena. He's actually over at the United Center watching the Blackhawks lose. So,
and they did.
Yeah, and they did. Well, I'm not sure if he said that they were going to lose, but the Chicago crowd definitely got a pop out of that.
He only semi-sold it, though.
Oh, no, he said that he was going to... they were going to get their streak broken.
Yeah.
That's how he got the heat from it.
He only semi-sold it. He didn't actually speak the name.
Yeah, he didn't say it, unlike someone else later on in the show.
Like someone who killed it later on.
Yeah, who really decided to shove it down the audience throats. In comes Cesaro. Bell ring, start of the Cesaro-Sheamus match. Mark, what'd you think of this match?
Sheamus and Cesaro?
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's one of those where I'd use the terms that I forgot the last gentleman that spoke. I apologize. I'm new here.
Yeah.
It was fine for what it was. This match is going nowhere. It was pointless. I don't really see a ton of connection or chemistry between the two. It was just kind of okay. It was fine. It's two guys that like to fighting. So yeah, I mean, for an opening match, it's fine.
All right, Doug.
It was what I thought it was going to be, which was just two big guys trying to beat the ever-loving shit out of each other, which is fine for a fight, but kind of drags a bit for a match. And don't worry, Mark / Francis, I'm kind of forgettable. It's fine.
Yeah. I saw, there was some potential for this match to be great. I think going in, a lot of people probably had some hopes that we were going to see a really good match out of Sheamus with Cesaro. I felt I saw a lot of these spots before. There was the spot where Sheamus was going to, I wouldn't say dive through the ropes, but he went through the ropes and Cesaro hit him with a straight uppercut. That looks sick.
You mean over the ropes?
No, he went through the ropes.
He went over. He does the shoulder block thing.
Did he go over the ropes? It was to the outside. Okay. So, but he hit a sick uppercut. It felt like a lot of the same spots, just on a very stiffer level, because I know how well Sheamus works on that stiff style. I would even say that Sheamus is very influenced by the strong style in Japan. I bet you he probably watched some of that stuff back when he was wrestling in the indie days in Ireland. So it always looked like Sheamus was very into that style, and if there was one person to get that match out of it, would probably been Cesaro. I don't think they put their best in this match. It definitely probably looked like they were holding back a little bit. You know? It kind of felt that maybe we're going to see these guys in the future, and they're just going to continue to add on to those matches and make them better and better. And soonly we're going to have that main event match between these two, and it's going to be absolutely amazing.
God, I hope not.
You don't think so?
Ugh.
You wouldn't want this? I would love to see this as a continuing feud.
I'd give them $5 not to do that.
Really?
Yeah.
But where does your
Well, at least Vince would be gaining money for once.
where does your problem lie in that?
I don't see the same amount of potential that you do. I think whenever I watch Sheamus, now don't get me wrong, he's been better the last couple of weeks because he has been working a bit stiffer. But I think there's a limit for that. Everybody's not going to want to work that way, and you tend to shorten your career and the other person's career doing it. And so I feel like every Sheamus match I watch is the same match. I feel like it's like Groundhog Day. Cesaro, on the other hand, is a person that has a lot more left in the tank. There's a lot you haven't seen Cesaro do. And so he can, if the match feels like it's dragging, he can kind of gauge, especially in a pay-per-view, the crowd and know when he needs to bring something out of his bag of tricks. Sheamus is kind of, we've seen it. And I don't know that there's a whole lot more left for Sheamus. So
That's a good point, because you could definitely see a change in how a match's pacing goes, depending on who's calling the match. And you could definitely see when Sheamus starts calling the match, because he starts getting a lot of his spots in.
Yep.
But you could always see that change when it comes to those kind of matches. But I definitely think there's probably a lot more to see from Sheamus. Because I think there's a lot that he's probably held back from not doing because he's such a strong person. Because even, imagine what Cesaro has done and what he does now. A lot of his moves, the uppercuts, while they look a lot sick, while they do look sick, he's done them a lot better back in his indie days. Same thing with like the double stomp. He feathers his double stomps a lot now.
Well, that's because in indies you're allowed to kill each other because you can wait a week before you wrestle again.
And so that's where my point stands with Sheamus. I think it's more held back because they don't want to get these guys injured, but when it comes to a much larger match where there's more stakes on the line and that you're main eventing, I think you're going to get a lot more out of both men in the match. And that you could, and I still think that Sheamus leaves a lot of that so he could get more pain and so he could make a match look better in those main event sort of scenes. We haven't seen him in a main event for years. You know,
yeah, I think there's a reason for that too.
He's
I
been
think
kind
that's
of
Sheamus' fault.
Yeah, I would. Has he been prone to injure other wrestlers?
No, it's just that that's like this match is a Sheamus match in that it works. It's basically all he does. It's what he does. It works his pace, which I kind of call don't botch pace, and like it's not too fast, but not too slow. It's just sort of in the middle where it's kind of like and we kind of see him run through these spots all the time. He doesn't change the variation at all.
I think we're standing on two different points when it comes to Sheamus. I think Sheamus still has a lot in his career left, and I don't think we've seen the last of Sheamus. And while there's going to be some tough times that he's going to go through, I think there's going to get a point in the future when he gets to wrestle Cesaro more and he gets to wrestle Barrett more. He's put on some great matches with Barrett. He's had a street fight with Barrett in the past on SmackDown, which was really, really good. It was a brutal match. And I don't know, I still see that there's some hope in Sheamus. That I know Triple H is a big supporter of him, and I've liked Sheamus since he's
You don't say.
Yeah, I've been a big fan of Sheamus since he's debuted. I mean, he's not like my guy I would put everything behind, but he's definitely a great worker.
Ooh.
Let's get into the next match because we talked about this like crazy.
Don't get me started on Sheamus.
Oh yeah, Ryback and Curtis Axel versus Cody Rhodes and Goldust. This was one of their filler matches. Filler matches that they put on before the pay-per-view started. Before the pay-per-view started, we had a small segment or a little promo between Cody and Goldust, where Cody was all like, we've had our problems in the past, but now that's all behind us, and we're gonna go out there and we're gonna win. Nothing really interesting on this match.
and then him and Goldust hug, and the camera just stays on the shot of their shirt saying the Brotherhood.
Yeah. This match definitely put Ryback and Axel over like crazy. They looked high. I think they're really hungry as a tag team right now. I think as they're seeing the opportunity that, hey, we're a tag team, the Usos aren't doing anything. Let's put on a really good match with these guys and try to get somewhere closer to those tag titles, because I think the Wyatt family's kind of stepping in on that. But I thought it was a very high impact match. The crowd didn't seem too much into it, but I kind of liked what they did with it. What did you think, Mark?
Similar to the last match, it was fine for what it was. It's a early in the card match. They weren't expecting it to steal the show, and it certainly did not. Pretty forgettable match from my standpoint. I was hoping as the match built for a Cody win, and I think that actually bodes well for them. It shows me that Cody knows how to tell a story. He was able to, because I go into every match kind of level. I'm just trying to enjoy the match and try to follow what they're doing. But I started to feel a little bit emotionally invested in hoping that Cody would win. When he didn't, I felt some disappointment.
All right.
That all bodes well, I think, for Cody's career. It shows that he's a storyteller. The other three guys in this match, I'm not sure where they're going, but Cody does seem like he still seems to be growing, and that's good for a guy his age. It shows that he's still got potential for main eventing in the future.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a good sign that Cody is continuing to improve, because there's still so much left in his career, and he's still wanting to prove to the officials and everybody that he can be possibly a main event guy. I think there was some reports back a couple months ago that they were wanting to put Cody as a heel, have him do some heel work. I think Vince wanted him to put him as a heel. What do you guys think on that point? Do you think Cody should probably approach the next level as a heel, or should he be that clean babyface that gets the fans behind him?
I think he's better as a heel, personally, but it's like if you don't have anything for him as a heel, I'd rather he be a blank babyface than a blank heel.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, Ryback and Curtis Axel won the match. They're getting the momentum going forward. Cody pretty much says he's not happy. He took some act, and he just pretty much tells Goldust that he needs a better tag team partner than him. It's not really much of a heel turn. I think that's what a lot of people were probably expecting. So maybe there's some.
It's like the opposite of a heel turn. It's like literally that sympathy getting at its finest.
Yeah. So either they're gonna drag this out for a little bit until it hits SummerSlam, because I know that everybody's thinking that Goldust and Cody is gonna be a pay-per-view matchup. I think they're just gonna drag it out for a little bit, and then we're gonna finally probably get that before SummerSlam. Probably at Money in the Bank is when the turn could possibly happen.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I hate that they have the big guy so vanilla right now, because I think we're actually seeing growth from Ryback, but they're not really selling it.
It's like Ryback has never done anything bad besides injure people, and he hasn't done that in a while. So I think they're just sort of just waiting for that moment.
Here's the thing.
It's like, wait a minute, is this going to be a compliment?
Yeah.
He has failed at nothing except keeping people off the shelf.
Yeah. What I like about Ryback and Curtis Axel actually is a lot of the stuff that they do on the WWE Network and like off the cameras when I mean they're on the cameras but not on like television or on the main
They're
shows.
the silliest motherfuckers.
They are so funny, and I don't understand why they don't put that shit on TV because
They still have the worst theme song ever in existence.
oh come on, Mike.
Dude, you honestly expect that remix to catch a win? It's
Those
horrible.
those random trumpets are so awesome.
It's horrible.
Don't lie to yourself.
They aren't.
It's
No,
horrible.
they actually aren't.
Don't lie to yourself.
The trumpets. That's, dude. Come on, man. The trumpets.
Yeah, the trumpets are amazing.
That's awful.
So yeah. There's not much else to say. I think they're just trying to keep Ryback and Curtis Axel a little hungry, or maybe this was just gonna lead to the Cody Rhodes Goldust breakup, like which it kind of did. We're still not sure where Cody stands right now, what he's gonna do on Raw tomorrow night, but I don't know. I'm liking how they left it. It's good. I'm glad that we're gonna probably see some progress between Ryback and Curtis Axel. We get the storyline starting to boil down with Cody Rhodes and Goldust. This match was actually needed to continue some story, make things interesting, so you'd watch Raw, and that's how WWE needs to start booking some stuff, you know. Next match, actually, personally, one of my favorite matches
USA.
on the show, Rusev versus Big E.
Putin be praised.
Just because I mark out because of this 80s style Russia versus USA feud. I don't know why I love these feuds so much, but when they have the right people doing it, it works so well.
It's so intentionally silly, sold by people who are trying to not make it silly.
Yeah. Big E and Rusev, two massive fellows of the WWE, and I thought while it's not an amazing quality of match, they showed what they could possibly do, but not exactly what they could do. They left a lot of it open, especially with the end of this match, with Rusev winning with the accolade, which was the camel clutch, his finisher. Rusev winning, it just makes it feel like they're going to go for some rematches for this. I'd like to see it probably stretch out to SummerSlam, unless they could replace Big E with someone better, who's even more American.
Jack Swagger.
Kofi Kingston.
Yeah, let's not have Kofi Kingston. But one of the major spots in this match, I would probably call out, was the 6 spear.
Yes.
That Big E gave Rusev to the outside. Oh man, I cannot imagine what these guys could do if they give them about like 10 minutes in the ring. I'd love to see these guys just go at it in like, I don't know, maybe another last man standing match. These guys could do it. They're pretty much the same size. They're very equal to one another. They're actually the same kind of height as well. Big E's actually not a tall fellow, and same thing with Rusev. So them kind of going in there and looking the same, it really adds some great tension to both of these guys. What'd you think, Mark?
Agree with everything you said. I don't even think they needed to replace E. I kind of thought the same thing, and I tweeted this out on the last show when they were having their fisticuffs. I think it was on Raw. I don't remember if it was Raw or SmackDown. But they came to blows, and it was Monday. So it was on Memorial Day, and he's trying to get a USA chant going, and he can't keep a USA chant going fighting a Russian.
Yeah.
On Memorial Day.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, this has no chance. But actually, the match was a really a pretty good match. I didn't think that E was overmatched in this one, if that makes any sense.
Oh, yeah.
I thought they actually delivered, and they had a couple of big spots, things that you haven't seen. I was sold on it. I was much more impressed with the match than I thought I was going to be.
Yeah, definitely. Mike, you here?
I am.
You want to talk about that Big E Rusev match a little bit? Give your thoughts.
When Big E was running the ropes going for his giant splash,
Yeah.
And Rusev jumped up and went, nope.
Oh
Super
yeah.
kick to the face.
Holy shit, that kick was sick.
I just want to point out, I like the flag waving.
Yeah, the big flag battle that they had before the match.
I honestly expected Rusev to swing it so hard he was going to impale Lana. That's how hard he was swinging the flag.
Yeah, you were
Yeah.
hoping he was going to impale Lana. You're hoping you're going to impale
Oh,
Lana.
he already
In
does.
that
That too.
ass.
And Big E comes out like he's about to crap himself.
Yeah.
He always looks like that, though. That's
Yeah, but-
pretty much his look.
He's like he was constipated. Like, what are you doing?
Big C.
He's got the big crapper instead of the big ending. I'm sorry.
That was great.
It was.
So Rusev wins with the accolade. Crowd kind of goes silent for a little bit. They're kind of shocked at Big E. That's why I also like too. There was kind of some shock that Big E lost this match.
I was kind of surprised, yep.
Kind of enjoy that they put Rusev over. It just opens up for this to continue, and that's what I kind of want. I kind of hope that Rusev really plays out this Russia thing, because one, Russia's very topical right now. So they can get a lot of the channel surfers if people end up watching Rusev on TV, because they could generate that heat, and they get, oh, fuck this guy, why the hell is in here? They could really get behind the babyface. And it's kind of been shown in the past, with Cesaro and a couple other guys, that some of those, some of the old stuff is new nowadays. So
Yeah, that was a complete fail, though.
yeah, but no, I would say the Cesaro swing, the swing's a very old move that not a lot of people have been able to get right, and Cesaro was just able to get some great pop from that swing for just using it.
Oh no, I mean his early run as being the foreign guy.
The yodeler.
Being the foreign guy, and I'm better than Americans, and I speak 5 languages, and it
I
didn't go
actually
over.
somehow was able to miss all the yodeling except for the last time he did it.
I think he only did like two episodes. I think he did it first on SmackDown, then came on and did it on Raw, and then it was like a shit idea. They must have done it like again on SmackDown, and they stopped it.
Yeah, like he first came in as like he's too rough for rugby, and then suddenly he's
Like he was a rugby player when he first debuted, and they completely dropped that like right out of the gate.
And I was an
Because no
Oksana
one
Mark,
cared
and
about
that story made me hate her.
Oksana?
Not hate her in a heel way, but hate her like, why is she even on TV anymore?
Oh man, she worked you hard then.
It was not. It was
I'm
not
getting that
good.
X-Pac heat.
What are we talking about?
Oksana's and Cesaro's little get together,
Cesaro is my lover.
and Teddy Long getting like the butt end of everything.
Oh god. I was waiting for Teddy Hart to have another heart attack.
There is
That was one tag team Teddy Long didn't want to see.
there was that segment on SmackDown where Teddy Long was dressed up as a maid, and Oksana just made out with Cesaro for like a good minute in front of Teddy, and Teddy was just standing there in a maid's outfit, just kind of frowning. It was
Very
the
sad.
funniest fucking thing. So yeah, Big E, Rusev, very quality match, very surprising. Kofi Kingston, Bo Dallas. This wasn't even a match. It didn't even start.
It was just a squash.
It ended in a no contest. Bo
It
Dallas.
actually did start though.
A bell rang.
The bell rang.
A bell rang, but it rang when Kane hit Kofi. So it wasn't like Bo Dallas wasn't even in the ring when it happened. I don't even know why the timekeeper even rang the bell. It didn't even make sense.
So does Bo Dallas lose? Is that Bo Dallas' first loss?
No, it's a no.
Nope, it is a
contest.
no contest. So Bo
The streak
Dallas
lives.
is 2-0 still.
But he lost by disqualification.
No, he didn't.
Holy!
The match didn't start. Bo Dallas wasn't even in the ring when the match started, or when the bell rang. There was no match to begin with. There was just no contest. The contest didn't happen.
R.D. Evans, we're coming for you.
Yeah. So Kane came out. The reason why that happened is because Kofi Kingston said something bad about the Authority on Twitter. I'm kind of glad this happened because it added that dimension of the Authority is still gonna go after people if they say something bad about them.
It also helps Kane because with Bryan gone for however long, he needs something to do. So if he's going to be the mercenary guy, all the better.
Exactly. So I love that they're still keeping true to their other storylines that are still going on, and it got Bo Dallas on a pay-per-view. So congratulations to Bo, I guess.
He gives the best pep talk to a dead man ever.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
WWE Intercontinental Title match: Rob Van Dam versus the champion Bad News Barrett. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this match. Mark, what'd you think?
To all of you who are hoping that Rob Van Dam takes my Intercontinental Championship, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. That's all.
That's it?
That's it. The rest of it
Okay.
doesn't matter. You know, funny thing about Barrett. Barrett is actually a decent performer. His matches are very formulaic, much like Sheamus too, though. So that's why I think he's got a bit of a ceiling.
Yeah.
But this Bad News Barrett thing, that's gold, man. All he needs is the intro. He doesn't really even need to wrestle.
Oh, yeah.
And, well, actually, in all fairness, we're calling him formulaic, but we're saying it after watching a Robbie and Dan match. So
I'm
Yeah.
so glad that Barrett was able to take. I would probably say he was maybe a little bit influenced with Baz New Brown, the old 80s wrestler who I believe passed away a couple years ago.
That's the worst
So yeah, and he was able to modernize that gimmick as well. So I'm glad that there was something to get out of it, and it pays homage to Bad News Brown because Bad News Brown was fucking an awesome wrestler. I was able to get to watch a couple of his matches on YouTube, and they're great. So there's, I'm glad that this gimmick worked out because there was even earlier before they even introduced the gimmick, there was those reports saying that the officials didn't believe that the YouTube gimmick would go over with the live crowd, but it did. It was a lot bigger than anybody expected to be, and he ended up being one of Vince McMahon's favorite people to book, apparently. So
Yeah, there's all this internet thing. Nobody's paying attention to this internet thing.
yeah. So, good job on Barrett for finally getting back in the mix of things after that scary injury where he broke his arm in that 6-man I can't remember what that kind of match was, but he had Cody got thrown onto him and he broke his arm. That was scary.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was really, really scary. I think everybody was afraid Barrett wasn't going to return, or it was going to take forever for him to return. So, yeah, that happened. Stephanie, we have the big segment with Daniel Bryan and Stephanie McMahon. There's a couple things to note from this. It was your regular, Stephanie wants Bryan to vacate the title, and
Before you go on,
what?
Strike in chat is complaining.
What is he complaining about?
He just said this, and I'm gonna read it. And y'all can break it down to whatever you want it.
Okay.
So the guy the Authority has been trying to keep from the title for 8 months or so wins the title, proceeds to get injured, and have a perfectly legitimate excuse to just take the title off of him, and they don't. Frowny face.
Doesn't this go with the same argument that he had with The Rock and how he was barely...
No. The Rock missing a month of time was perfectly okay. Strike's logic.
This is the same guy who chopped up a win for the Dolph Ziggler should change his should change his style argument because Daniel Bryan might have injured his neck, and they're saying Daniel Bryan should change his style, so he's counting that as a win for his Dolph Ziggler argument.
I don't even want to argue Strike right now. To be really honest.
That's his argument.
We'll leave that out there for people to get pissed off at.
I was so hoping you weren't going to bring that up.
So anyways, Stephanie comes out. She wants Bryan to vacate the title. Bryan doesn't do it because Brie gets in the way. Before that, big CM Punk chant starts up, and Stephanie says that the fans want Bryan to quit, just like CM Punk did.
The shots fired.
So for the first time, WWE actually recognizes. Well, Stephanie recognized. I think she kind of did some shooting at that point.
Yeah, what it is, she probably got ticked off. It was probably her breaking point.
Yeah, I think
And-
No, well,
she's had that in the. She was waiting to say that.
I think she knew she was gonna shoot it, and I think she was glad she shot it. It generated a lot of heat. After that point, it got Brie over. So essentially, what happens is Bryan, is about to hand over the titles, and Brie stops her, or stops him.
Yep.
Sorry, and pretty much says, I'm not gonna let him do this. Pretty much, she quit. She calls Stephanie a narcissistic, self-centered, a bitch, which got the crowds going crazy doing yes chants.
That was the largest response Brie has ever gotten in her life.
It was.
Not yet. That was the second largest. The first largest was when she slapped Stephanie in the face after she quit. The crowd went apeshit for Brie. She's never gonna have that moment ever.
I think the crowd was reacting against Stephanie. I think.
Oh yeah, I definitely think.
I think he could have put a wet paper towel in that roll and gotten the same reaction against Stephanie.
But Stephanie was really healing it up that night. Yeah, everything kind of just came together perfectly. I feel that segment probably could have been not so great if it wasn't for the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
That crowd really added a second dimension. Even it led to Stephanie shooting like the shit out the window. So it really generated a second dimension to that segment, and I thought it was a great segment.
Whoa, man! Yeah, I'm watching the replay, and I just saw the Big E spear to the floor again.
Oh, sick thud when they hit the ground.
First time he's done it. Every time I'm just waiting for him to be seriously injured because that's just like crazy spot.
It looks like a car crash.
Yeah. So yeah, awesome segment. Going to the last man standing match: John Cena, Bray Wyatt. I don't know, Doug. Starting with you, how about you give the first opinions on this match?
It was kind of like the biggest boom or bust match possible because of what happened in Steel Cage and how it's clearly a Cena match through and through. And as soon as this match started, they worked fast. As soon as the middle of this match happened, they were still working fast. The end of the match happened, they were working fast. It was like crazy. It was like what ROH always hopes their ladder wars are going to be. They're just hitting each other with everything at every moment, and they were just killing each other. And they just kept going and going and going. It was amazing.
Yeah, I thought it was a very solid match. I wouldn't say that they worked very quickly through this match. There were some points with the Usos being a factor and the other Wyatt members being a factor that there were some trade-offs between like Cena and Wyatt working and then the Wyatt family and the Usos working together. Like there was a point where I think Wyatt, even the announcers were yelling it. Wyatt was pretty much on the ground for about more than 10 seconds. Yet the referee
he was on the ground for like 3 minutes.
Yet the referee was distracted with the Usos and the Wyatt family being out there and setting up tables and doing a very big. Harper hit one of the Usos through 2 tables that were set up. One of the Usos hit Rowan with that big. I don't know what you would call it. The ramming butt attack. the
right asses.
Umaga's big signature. There were some trade-offs during that, but it was a very solid, maybe 8.5 match until the ending came along. And I could understand people's hatred for this match. I mean, hatred for the ending of the match. I thought it was a very, 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 very good match. But the ending is just everything that you see with the Cena match.
Yeah, he was very reminiscent of the Great Khali off of the whatever it was truck that they were on top of.
Oh
The
yeah.
bulldozer thing.
Yeah, I did not love the finish. It was appropriate and it was okay. I thought that maybe he would, bury Barry White under something, maybe the announce table like they did with Big Show once.
Yeah.
So I kind of anticipated that it would have a bit of a cartoonish end. But the match was, it was special. The beginning started slow, and I was starting to get a little bit antsy, and then they picked up steam. They included the Wyatts. The Wyatt family. They had the huge spots, the tables, the chairs. By the end of it, I was
Cena killing Bray with steel steps.
Dude.
Oh man. Holy shit, when he tossed those steel steps into Wyatt's face.
They both.
I thought he died. I thought that was gonna be a finish.
I did too. I was like, okay, he's dead. I was expecting the King to say that, to bring out his trademark. He's dead. But he didn't break it out. But dude, there was some really crazy stuff. Both of them had a little blood at the end of it. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. And the Usos were selling it on the way out.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Very good.
So yeah, I mean, there's not really much else, The ending, while I feel that maybe the ending hurt Wyatt just a little bit going forward, just because his last win was kind of shenanigan-ish. The Wyatt
actually won though.
But here's the thing.
Wyatt wasn't winning.
Wyatt,
No,
the Wyatt family.
It's not going to win a last man standing match. The last man standing match
the
is
cage
the
match.
quintessential
The cage
Cena
match.
Oh yeah, the cage match.
The cage match when with all the shenanigans with the Wyatt family getting into the cage and the kid stopping Cena from getting out.
That's supposed to stop everyone from getting ever.
That match was just to make Cena, keep him looking strong going into their rubber match. And it was kind of, how are they going to treat Wyatt leaving this match? Are they going to make him look strong, or are they going to hurt him a little bit going forward into SummerSlam? Forget about Money in the Bank. SummerSlam's one of your biggest pay-per-views, and Wyatt's one of the biggest draws that you have.
Why are you worried about SummerSlam? You got Money in the Bank and Battleground to slug through yet.
Oh, wait, Battleground hasn't happened?
Yeah.
I thought Battleground was in like October, November.
Oh no, it's in July.
Battleground's in July.
Oh man,
they changed it.
There's only one October pay-per-view this year.
Oh, okay.
They moved Money in the Bank into this month, and they moved Battleground into July.
Money in the Bank is we're missing Battleground. We're gonna be on break during Battleground, so that's happening. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Cena then. He may be probably going into the main event, possibly.
So do you think?
No, he's.
Or at least
this is over?
He's at the stage of the career where he's sort of in the Undertaker role, where he's gonna win matches, but he's the stepping stone.
I definitely think this feud is over.
You do?
Yeah, I think.
Over.
Yeah, I think Cena could potentially move on to. He could potentially move back to Cesaro, since that wasn't really a feud that they had originally. It was just like a couple matches. So he could potentially get into a feud with Cesaro and Paul Heyman. He could.
There was a rumor about Big E.
Yeah, he wants to. Cena's already stated that he wants to work with Big E, so that would mean Big E would turn heel, but I don't see that happening soon. Cena was with the recent dirt sheet rumors about what SummerSlam could look like. Cena wasn't even mentioned. I think the proposed matches were going to be Cesaro, Lesnar, Reigns, Triple H, and Bryan Wyatt. So even Wyatt is expected to probably stay a little strong going into SummerSlam. Cena's more probably on the fence of where he's going to be by SummerSlam. So, but as far as this feud being over with, I think it's completely done.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's really nothing for Wyatt to accomplish.
There's even possibly a little bit of money that we won't see Wyatt for a couple weeks.
What?
That we
Why,
that
why would the fuck would they
that
do
I think that we would probably see Harper and Rowan for a couple weeks by themselves against
Oh,
the
definitely.
Usos, and Wyatt is still suffering from the loss of Cena, and then he'll come back, and then he'll probably, I hope he probably brings in the butcher's apron that he wears
Oh
in
no, that's so
NXT.
cheesy.
That looks so fucking sick.
It's so fucking cheesy.
You didn't see him when he broke his nose. When he broke his nose and he had the white mask
I
on
saw that.
and he had the butcher's jacket, he looked fucking scary.
Who?
Bray Wyatt.
I missed that one.
Back in NXT, I think it was probably like a year or two ago. He broke his nose and he wore this white mask, kind of like what Cody's mask looked like. It covered half his face, but besides being clear, it was white. And he had this brown butcher's apron, and he looked fucking scary. Like the thing just came out of my goddamn nightmares. So if he couldn't recreate that in some way, even with the mask added this complete new dimension to the character. If he can do that, oh my god, I think Wyatt could end up doing even better work than he's been doing now. So, yeah, I think when it comes to Cena and Wyatt in the next coming months, it'll be interesting to see where they go now. Really quickly, Alicia Fox, Paige, Divas title match. It was a Divas match.
It was the Divas Championship.
Yeah, it was for the Divas title. Paige won with the PTO is what
I don't like that name.
I think it's
They completely give up on trying to name it.
It's an acronym for Paige's Tap Out, I think.
No, that's a horrible name.
I thought it was
They
paid
gave up
time
trying
off.
What?
I thought it was paid time off.
Is it? I've heard a couple.
No,
I've heard.
No, it's Paige's Tap Out.
It's not paid time off.
I
I don't know where you're getting that from.
That's horrible.
Anyway, I've heard like Paige's turnover or something like that.
It's Paige Tap
I've
Out.
heard a couple. We're gonna have to wait until commentaries kind of describes what PTO means.
It looks really
They said it
awesome.
like 3 times.
Yeah, the Scorpion crosslock is looks like a really sick submission hold. It
Yeah,
looks
it's
like it fucking
you're
hurts.
biting him in half. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the only move you do not have a counter for. Like, how do you get out of that?
If you pop your legs down, because your legs are kind of they're a little loose, but they're really pushed close to the body.
She's got him hooked though. How?
Because
her link strength.
her legs, like if the lock was on Emma's legs would be on top of Paige's leg, probably her right leg, and close to her body, so where Paige or Emma can't get her legs down. But if Emma was to get her legs down, she could easily probably counter that.
If there is a counter, we'll see AJ pull it off at one point.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't even get that though. Like especially with, like AJ has a similar type of a thing where she's wrapped around. It's kind of like inverse. It's not similar. It's inverse.
Her
Black Widow.
The Black Widow. Yeah, Paige is like bending you, and AJ is bending around you. I don't really understand. Maybe one of you has an idea for this. How come somebody doesn't just sit out on the Black Widow? That seems like a really easy thing to
Smooth.
Finally,
Someone said it.
what I understand of the Black Widow is that once it's locked in, you're already cutting the blood pressure. And there have been a couple times where like Natalya will have dropped her like to her one knee, but it would seem like a very easy submission move to get out of.
Yeah.
But the only person who's ever gotten out with it was Caitlyn, and that's because she just powered out AJ's leg. But aside from being that strong, there's really no easy way to do it unless you're gonna do a Samoan drop, which will probably hurt
all you have to do is drop in order to break out of it. Like it's but I think the whole system of the move is that once it's hooked in, it starts cutting the pressure and you start to faint.
Yeah,
and so when you faint,
the actual crux of the move is her leg on your head and her arms pulling your other arm back, and like as long as that's locked in, you're done.
yeah.
Oh yeah, Paige and Alicia.
Yeah.
Returning to kayfabe.
Return to this thing that we all forgot about.
So the last match of the night, the Shield versus Evolution. Off the bat, not as good as their Elimination Chamber match.
Off the bat, it was slow.
There were points where I think they forgot. They obviously forgot maybe that it was an elimination match. I don't think they probably forgot, but they probably forgot at some point that it was a no holds barred as well. Like there was no disqualification.
You mean by the time they were tagging each other in?
Yeah, once it
This
started
is-
becoming more of a wrestling match.
This is the problem I have with no holds barred matches, with tag team matches. They follow the rules.
Right, there were all kinds
They
of
were-
holds that were in fact barred.
Don't forget, Triple H also did a move did an illegal move behind the ref's back while Batista was trying to set him up on the ropes.
Yeah.
It's like you're promoting this as a no DQ match, but they're following the rules.
I think when you actually I looked at the clock, they did that match for about 40 to 45 minutes. So I think they were just trying to see how much they can BS their way to save up the energy.
Yeah, but there's 6 of them. Why are you saving your 6 guys to do a 45-minute match?
Well, one is Batista.
Batista. Oh wait. Can we mention what
Okay,
Batista was
five and a
wearing
half
tonight?
guys, then.
Fucking Batista.
Batista
Five and a
was
half guys.
Batista
My
was
bad.
dressed
Hey,
as
man.
Batista was dressed as a blueberry tonight.
Somebody
As
Somebody
everyone
else said a
in the
Smurf.
ring was black, Shield were black, Triple H and Orton were black.
Yeah.
Batista looked like the Bloomy.
Batista went straight Smurf on him.
It's like when Batista went to go change, he didn't get the memo that they were wearing all black.
Yeah, he was still wearing his underwear.
He Smurfed it up.
And them arm sleeves. What?
It-
Yeah, it went from him looking like he always looks to just coming out with a different look now.
Like is
that's
he
what-
going to
Make 'em
is he
mad.
going to basketball practice? Like what is he doing?
No, I think those sleeves were leftovers from Kelly Kelly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh man.
Ooh.
I mean,
if you really want to go dirty, you
no.
go
I'm trying to remember some spots from this match.
There were some nasty ones.
There were some nasty ones, but a lot of them blended together.
Seth Rollins spent
not-
half the match in the air.
Oh, Seth Rollins jumping off the Titantron, or at
Crazy.
least like half of the Titantron.
Crazy.
Yeah, this was after Roman Reigns was gaining Passion of the Christ, and he comes back and Dean attempts to sneak attack, and he fails, and as I was typing in Twitter, well, there's Dean, where's Seth, and all of a sudden I see, it looks like Seth on Titantron, and I thought I had to look down to see him, and then no, he's jumping off Titantron onto Evolution. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah, I was trying to look for Rollins too. I'm like, okay, there's Dean. Oh, okay. Reigns came in from the ring, and then I'm like, where the fuck is Rollins? Oh shit! He came out of nowhere. I mean, it was kind of a little reminiscent of the spot he had on the last match when he jumped off the entrance door in the audience. That spot was sick because he was in the audience for that, and the crowd was going wild.
And if he
It-
fucked
it
up
was
one
slightly,
inch, he was gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was slightly Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, I think Seth Rollins is really influenced by probably Jeff Hardy's earlier
He's a
work.
technically sound Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, he reminds me a lot of Jeff Hardy's earlier days on a new level, on a completely new level than what Hardy had. I am so glad that WWE was picked up Rollins at such a young age as well. They picked up all 3 of the Shield members pretty young. You know?
Yeah, all of them are still in their 20s.
Yeah, I think 27, 28 between there.
Yeah.
Yep. So they're the future, just like Dolph Ziggler, right?
Dolph tweeted before the pay-per-view started that he wasn't booked.
he's here to show the world.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's my obligatory Dolph Ziggler dig for the night. So.
There was a "Let's We Want Ziggler" chant during the Rusev match.
There was.
Yeah.
It wasn't as loud though.
As for the ending of this match, all three Shield members were able to eliminate all three Evolution members. Clean sweep.
I hated the ending.
Really?
Me too. Me too.
Well, because you destroyed Roman Reigns. He's dead. He's in the middle of the ring, about to resurrect.
It's Roman Reigns. He's never destroyed.
He's about to resurrect. Ambrose. Who got pedigreed on the chair? Was it Ambrose or Rollins?
Ambrose.
I think it's Ambrose.
Ambrose is dead. You drag him to the ring, you pin him.
You couldn't eliminate either one of those guys? Really?
I think here's the thing, and why I understand your point with this. Commentary kept on saying it, and this is where I give credit to pro wrestling in general, because this is how they get spots. It makes sense. Commentary kept on saying that they wanted to destroy the Shield. They wanted to break them apart, and for the longest time they were. They kept on going back and forth. They threw Reigns through the announce table. They destroyed Rollins and Ambrose on the stage. They wanted to go back and destroy Reigns, and then they wanted to go back and destroy Rollins. They just wanted to tear him apart piece by piece and then eliminate him. But they took too long, and which led to the Shield finally getting back into the groove of things and overcoming the odds.
That's why I hated the
But it's
ending.
ridiculous. That's a rookie thing. Why do you have the veterans making the rookie mistake? It makes no sense.
And here's the thing, and I understand that point too. I want to see if they, and this is where I'm gonna go with, that was a really good ending or that was a really bad ending, with how they handled this with on tomorrow's Raw. Are they going to mention that those were rookie mistakes, that someone messed up, that someone didn't pin who they were supposed to pin, where there's some...
stuff or whatever.
If they sell that ending, then it was a really good ending. If it leads to some breakup, if it leads to some split, who knows? Maybe Batista's finally going to fucking fuck off for the summer. It's all up to how they approach it on Raw. Now, if they don't approach it by the way that it should have been approached, then it could have been a really bad ending. I think it's all how they sell the ending, I would probably say.
I think it was just a bad ending, and they can repair it by convincing us otherwise on Raw. But in and of itself, it was a pretty weak ending for me.
The only problem I have is, aside from the 1v1 matches they're supposed to be doing, is like that kind of leaves the Shield like with no one left. They beat everyone, and they didn't even make Evolution look like an opponent after, based on results.
I would probably maybe put some money on a second Wyatt Shield feud.
I'd love that. That was awesome.
Maybe just to milk it one more time before they do the breakup of the Shield, because from the looks of it now, they really want to have the Shield have very memorable moments. They're trying to create these memorable moments for the Shield, so when they go back to the Shield in like 10 years, people remember, oh shit, that was the Shield were one of the best stables ever. You know,
they're trying to make the Shield the Four Horsemen of the current age.
Yeah, those were the heydays. Those were some good times when the Shield were on top. You know, they're trying to create that nostalgia trip for this new generation, which I think they should do. They should kind of focus on giving these guys some good, because that's how you book wrestling. You know, you give these guys some memorable moments, and you have them work, and you have them be good. You have them be how they are.
It's how you make stars.
Yeah, it's how you make stars. Exactly. And I think that's what they're really trying to do with all three men. Reigns may be their star boy, but I think Ambrose and Rollins are going to be very big factors in the future as well. I could see Ambrose being one of the biggest and best heels of the future.
Yeah, it's odd to me. I wasn't expecting Dean to be a good face, but he's actually a pretty good face.
Oh yeah,
I think they actually are better as faces than they were as heels.
I think
they're better as heels.
They're better as heels, but I think Ambrose worked as a face in CZW before, has he?
I think it was a heel. So. I think it was a heel.
I think there were at points where he was a babyface. I've seen some of his promos in CZW, and he's acted more of a babyface back then.
No, that was psychotic. It's like that was. I don't know how to put it.
It was a sympathetic figure, but maybe not straight babyface.
It was a psycho playing sympathy, but still being psychotic.
But but that's it for Payback.
Bro,
Yeah. What'd you guys think of the pay-per-view overall? Mark, starting with you.
Like overall feel. just
Overall
generally-
feel.
Yeah.
You want to give it a score? 1 out of 10.
10 being the best.
Yeah.
I tend to be a really tough grader. So to me, if you think it's average, that's like a 6, I'd say. I think this is above average, 7, maybe 7.5 at the most. It was good. It was entertaining. I didn't feel like I wanted to turn it off. There were no awfully low spots. There weren't points where you say this has gotta end.
Yeah.
Like
there were no bathroom break moments.
there was no major. Okay, this is an easy potty break. There was none of that. So it had a good flow to it. It was a really good, solid pay-per-view. No complaints.
Awesome. Duck.
Yeah, above average for me is 7.5 or an 8. But so I give us an A because I usually like a good pay-per-view gives me 1 or 2 matches I want to rewatch again, and I want to watch that Last Man Standing and Shield Evolution match again. So I'd give it an 8.
All right, Mike. Awesome, Mike. Oh.
Yeah, I had to unmute my mic.
All right.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. All right, Duff.
I'll give it a 7.5.
All right. Man, yeah. I may go a little higher than you guys at this. I may give it an 8.5. And the only reason why it gets that extra 0.5 is because the mid card was so strong. I felt while those opening matches were maybe a little small, I thought they were very good matches for what they were. And I felt they were very strong matches, and I felt that it built upon potential other matches to come in the future for the Money in the Bank and Battleground. So yeah, I'm gonna give it that extra 0.5 just because I thought the undercard was just a lot better than their previous pay-per-views, especially WrestleMania. I would say the undercard was far better than WrestleMania's undercard.
The only problem I had is they tried to make it better than TakeOver, and it wasn't even better than TakeOver.
Oh no, we'll see. I'm iffy on that report.
It was definitely better than Takeover.
I don't think McMahon ever really wants to. I think he's done competing with people at this point. And even competing with something that's under his own brand.
Besides, I think they're always going to say, "Oh, we're going to do better than blank," no matter what the situation is. So
we'll see. That's it for Payback. Do you guys want to talk about TakeOver, or you want to go with some news?
I could go Takeover.
You want to just run through the TakeOver card really quickly? Mark, did you watch TakeOver?
Talking about NXT, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, we'll go over through it really quickly. Adam Rose versus Camacho was the opening match for this, I don't even, what do you call these? Specials?
I think
I think that's how Triple H says it.
I think that's about the right term.
Specials. It's NXT special.
Just special.
Yeah.
that's really lame though.
Yeah.
Like on Raw or SmackDown, they'd call it a super show, but I don't know what they call it for NXT.
I don't know. I think I have no idea either.
Yeah.
It's not a pay-per-view because technically you're always paying for NXT. But I don't know.
Yeah. Adam Rose versus Camacho. The crowd was into it. I think the NXT crowd is very behind Adam Rose. I think they like the gimmick. I think they just like anybody who comes from NXT. You know, the NXT crowd is very connected with each other. They know what NXT is about, and they treat it a lot differently than regular on the road crowds.
They treat it as this guy may be a potential star. Let's be here for that potential star.
But they treat it like this is their show.
No.
They treat it like it's their show. This is the NXT is the NXT's crowd. They own this show. They're
It's
what
a
makes
separate
that
universe.
yeah, it's completely separate universe, different brand. Even Vince McMahon has acknowledged that NXT it's a new brand for the WWE. It's not just another TV show.
There's a different. Just because you're over on NXT doesn't necessarily mean you're over on the main roster.
Oh no, definitely
No one
not.
said
But
that.
I think I
Said-
no.
said-
I
Let
think.
me finish. Don't interrupt me.
God damn you, Mike.
Shut your mouth. You made the comment they see Adam Rose as a star. Well, they
No,
probably
I'm
see
saying
that.
they're just happy to. They just want to be there for whoever may be next John Cena, CM Punk.
No,
They-
yeah. I understand. I understand
I'm not
Doug's
saying
point.
Adam Rose is gonna be like the next Undertaker. We're gonna talk about him for the next 50 years or however long.
I don't think that's what he's saying. I think what he's saying is that they like Adam Rose because on NXT Adam Rose is a star. They don't really care if he's going to be a star on the next level or not.
Exactly.
Well, I would hope they would care because if
I don't
he
think they
goes to the
do.
Why would they? Oh yeah, because they're thinking about down the road while watching a wrestling show.
If he goes to the main,
Yeah, I think what he's saying is that they're the NXT universe. They have their NXT performers, and they don't care if they go and do anything on Raw or SmackDown.
I think they would care if the people that care they want.
Oh no, yeah. I think
want to be successful.
I
They
think they're.
care, but not at that moment.
I
Not
think
that
they.
much.
Here's the thing. I think they care if the stars, become successful. I think anybody who's a wrestling fan would care that someone, gets a push and makes it to the main spot.
Yeah,
and doesn't
they'll care
lose their
if people
fucking
are at
job.
home and, like reading dirt sheets, but at
But
the
I
at the
think
show, they're just
I-
happy.
okay. I think your point was kind of saying that they see them as potential stars, but they want to support the NXT people. Triple H always says NXT is going to take over, and since the NXT crowd is so connected, and they see these guys as their guys. They go to all the shows and they see these guys develop in a completely different way than what WWE used to be. The FCW crowd back in the days was so small, and you'd have to look
It was
for
like 2
FCW
rows of
shows.
seats.
WWE wouldn't put those FCW shows just out for people to watch. You'd have to kind of look for them. But when you found them, you saw a very close-knitted community. The FCW community, they love those guys. They watch those guys every week, and I think that's what the same way as the NXT crowd is. They watch these guys every week and they want to support them no matter what they do. Not necessarily that they don't care exactly what happens when they go to the main roster, but they want to see them succeed in any field that they end up going to because they're from the NXT and that's their place.
Yeah, it's like whenever you watch, like, whenever someone, like, who had, like, when CM Punk had his going to WWE match, everyone was just happy for him. Like, they didn't care, like, how he was going to do this. And this guy was our guy.
Yeah, I think the community really was like, we don't care that if Punk makes it to the main roster, he does. We're just glad he's still under contract and he's still making money. Because if he wasn't, he wouldn't be making any impact in general. A lot of people would jump on them not doing anything with Bryan or not doing anything with Sami Zayn. They're still paying for the man to be there, and they're still paying for the man to be booked on the shows. So rather, if they're in a bad position on the TV show, at least they're getting TV time. There's some other guys who've been sitting off on the sidelines and they haven't been on TV for like 2 or 3 years. Rest in peace, Yoshitashu. But yeah.
Ooh.
Anyways, Adam Rose won this match. It was very.
So are we finished with the Dow of NXT now?
Yeah. We got a little sidetracked
Enter
on
the
that.
NXT.
Yeah. That's support to the NXT crowd. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Continue to challenge, scream, and chant all
They're
throughout
the
the
best wrestling
shows.
crowd everywhere
Just don't-
besides PGW.
You're
Just
better.
don't, just don't chant CM Punk because that makes you look retarded.
Yeah, just don't do that. WWE NXT Tag Team Title match: Kalisto and El Local. I'm guessing the Los Luchadors or whatever.
Lucha.
Versus Connor and Victor, the Ascension.
Did we talk about Adam Rose versus Camacho?
Let's not.
Who cares?
It's Camacho.
It's Camacho.
Dude, Camacho's theme is 100 times better than he is.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Something
That's
about
Spaniard.
Exactly.
It's dope though.
Meng was at the show apparently. The son of Meng was at the show.
I still want Camacho to be.
Is that huge guy?
That.
Haku, if you remember him.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I got you.
He
He's
killed people.
he's essentially one of the most toughest men in professional wrestling.
I thought that was Ken Shamrock.
Oh, yeah. Meng could probably kill Ken Shamrock.
Meng has
Doubt it.
Meng has ripped out eyeballs.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Well, yeah, but were they ready? It's kind of like that guy that was on Tough Enough and got Kurt Angle in a legit submission hold. No, he was a contestant.
Here you talk about Daniel Puder.
Yeah, it's like, come on, dude. If they don't know that you're gonna break out a legit hold, you're not a tough guy. You're a sneak artist.
Here's the thing. If you listen to any interview of some older wrestlers and they talk about Meng, every single person who was in the roster at the time when Meng was there will say that Meng was not someone to mess with.
It's like older wrestlers are bred to not put anyone over, and they're scared of Meng.
People are legitimately scared of Meng. Meng was one of those locker room leaders. He was a very tough son of a bitch, and he probably could have killed anybody, if not everybody in that locker room, if he wanted to. But
suddenly the locker room is stained blood red. Everyone goes, "What will happen?" Oh, Meng was mad.
Yeah, Meng is one of the more respected wrestlers because he was so tough, and yet he was such a great worker. So.
We need to have a show about that.
Yeah.
That should be the next WWE DVD special. Here's where Meng killed someone.
Yeah, like real fighters, like I've heard that Santino is a legitimately,
tough guy.
serious fighter.
If you go watch Santino's work back in OVW as the Russian brawler that he had some Russian gimmick. I forget specifically what the name was because OVW was such long ago. He was Paul Heyman guy. He was brought in by Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is a very big supporter of Santino back, and Santino can fucking work. Santino never put his best matches were in OVW, I would say.
Yeah.
All of Santino's best matches that he had in his career were probably back in OVW because he's such a good worker. Yet the Santino gimmick really stopped that from happening. So I'm actually a big supporter of Santino because he's actually
Me too. I like him.
He's a good worker that no one knows about.
The Santino gimmick needs to go.
Yeah, the gimmick needs to go, but
it works okay. I mean, it's a solid undercard babyface. It works. He's got a spot, pretty much for life with that. So I mean, it's okay.
It's run its course, though.
It definitely
it's run its course, but it still gets cheered.
Yeah, but
I mean, it's fine. It's like Kofi. Like, there's people that want Kofi to do more, but Kofi's in a good spot. He's a solid mid-card baby face. He's over. He's always going to be over. He doesn't really need to do more. I mean, some guys are hungry. They want to be the top guy, but Kofi's in a good spot. He's fine.
I'm getting paid. I'm on TV.
Yeah. Santino. Yeah, he's good where he is. He's not going to win the WWE Championship. He's not going to win the IC Championship. He's going to be in the spot that he's going to be. He's going to be in it for a little bit longer until there's some more comedy gimmicks that come in. And I think there are. NXT has a little handful.
He walked in the door winning the IC Championship, man.
Yeah, he did. Okay, let's get back into this tag team matchup.
Oh, sorry about that.
Kalisto, LO Cal versus the Ascension. Not that good of a match. I think a lot of people expected some great stuff out of Kalisto, yet Kalisto was dominated throughout this entire match.
I expected a title change.
Oh yeah,
I
think everybody was expecting a title change.
No way.
Yeah, because Ascension's supposed to be brought up pretty soon.
They've been tag champs for over almost a year now,
and they've been wrestling a lot of jobbers.
When they need to move to the main roster, which I still think they're, especially the big guys, too green to move up to the main roster. I think when they go, they're just gonna hand the titles over. I don't think they're gonna lose it. Kind of like Paige.
I don't think they're gonna hand it.
Ascension has gone too far to lose at this point.
There's gonna be some build up, I think. but I am dying to see the Wyatt family versus the Ascension. Oh, imagine
Well,
that.
I could pull off. I don't know.
I'd love. I'm a fan of Rick Victor. I think he's good, and Connor's been wrestling for a while actually. He's been wrestling since like 2002, I think.
Yeah, both of them are older than you think.
Yeah, and you know and I think if there's any tag team to really get some stuff out of them, it'd be Harper and Rowan. Most likely, we'll see.
I would say it's probably the best Ascension match because it was about the fastest they've ever worked.
No, I don't think so.
They were being carried by
This
real wrestlers.
this felt like this felt like a very
Well, I can't name
drawn-out
any
match.
other good Ascension matches.
Because they haven't been feuding with anybody. They're feuding with jobbers.
Maybe no. I could probably name some, but I can't remember any. Back when they first debuted, and there were some tag teams that they could wrestle with, they had some pretty good ones. But then they just had like a year where they were just wrestling jobbers. It was sad.
I should probably declare that I'm not impressed with the Ascension. I love the intro, but it's worse than the Road Warriors. The Road Warriors at least could make me believe they were tough guys, even though they were awful workers. The Ascension, they have a great look, great intro, great theme, and when I see them, they look like a joke to me. I don't get it at all.
He
I
wants
don't get it.
he wants Kenneth Cameron to come back and look into his flashlight in his hand.
While the tag team division looks a little dull right now in NXT, looks like Triple H is really going to start pumping out some of the tag teams now. There's a new tag team that I'm very excited for that debuts in NXT in a couple weeks.
The Varsity Boys or the Cowboys?
The Cowboys?
The Dallas Cowboys?
No,
those.
the Cowboys haven't debuted yet. No.
Yeah.
No, it's a new tag team with Aiden English and Simon Gotch. The
Oh
VOD.
god, that's gonna be the silliest team ever.
Guess what their name is? Their name is so fucking good.
I saw the Vaudevillains.
The Vaudevillains.
Okay.
It's essentially, from the looks of it, it looks like it's gonna be like a 1920s throwback. Like it looks like a very old-timey gimmick. They're especially using Simon Gotch's. They kept Simon Gotch as his original gimmick as Ryan Drago back from his indie days, which is like a old 1920s wrestler, bodybuilder. So it's gonna be a really cool gimmick. You guys should check it out on NXT in a couple weeks. They should be
I thought
debuting.
Cesaro
soon.
was doing that.
No. This one is a little bit more.
No, he's silly.
Yeah, this one goes a little over the top with it.
Oh, so it's
Like
like
I saw a Vigento.
it's like Los Matadores.
Oh,
no,
hey.
like,
Way
I saw a
over the top.
I saw like an old video he put out when he was still in the Indies, and it was black and white. He had a silly mustache. He was obviously
He still has the mustache. He still has the mustache. He's great. He's one of my favorite characters that should be coming out of NXT soon. Anyways, we'll move on to Sami Zayn versus Tyler Breeze. Holy shit, what a fucking match.
Woo!
Breeze, while there were some spots that they set up that got a little messed up here and there.
Orange Crush.
Breeze was able to keep up with Zayn. And I think that's the biggest thing that came out of this. That Breeze isn't just like any other wrestler. He can keep up and he could work. And he worked great in this match. Reminded me a little bit of how the young.
Ziggler.
He reminded me a little bit how the Young Bucks can work.
Super kick.
He is the third Young Buck.
He kicked us. He connected a 6 super kick on Zayn after a nice sequence of reversals. They did this great spot that kind of got messed up, whereas Breeze ended up like mid-air, and Zayn was supposed to set him up with the Blue Thunder Bomb, and he kind of came down wrong. It looked like Breeze landed on his shoulder, and then he came down to the mat. It was weird, but you know what?
It wasn't Breeze's fault. It's that Zayn sort of went like half a second too soon. That half a second was noticeable because held up Breeze for 8 seconds.
Yeah, but what I liked about that is that they were able to save it. It didn't look too bad. He didn't botch it completely.
And so complicated. I can't blame anyone for not getting that perfect.
Yeah, and if Breeze was able to still kind of connect it, and maybe next time they won't mess it up if these two end up wrestling again, and doing the same spot. But I think coming out of this match, I am so sure that Breeze is going to be a great worker and character if whenever he gets onto the main roster. I'm so excited to see this guy on Raw or SmackDown because he's just going to knock it out of the park. But Mike doesn't like him.
I keep
What?
something.
Mike hates Tyler Breeze.
I don't hate him, but he's boring.
Really?
Would you?
That's a no, sir.
Sorry. I feel the
You
same thing
just
about
got here and
Ziggler.
you're getting fired.
Dude, I feel the same thing about Dolph Ziggler. I mean,
Really?
he's another vanilla, good athlete, good-looking guy with very limited personality.
Wow.
He's got all the
Okay.
mic skills in the world. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
I can't. What? Have you listened? Okay, we're gonna need some.
Okay.
We're gonna need to educate you, sir.
Dead back.
Shots fired.
If you're gonna be a part of this podcast, you need to be educated. So we're gonna educate you.
I've seen him. I don't like him.
All right. We'll see about that, sir. Tyler Breeze
Can't
is.
a part man all model.
Tyler Breeze nails the beauty shot out of nowhere to be the new #1 contender for the NXT. Oh, after a low blow, so he kind of cheated.
An accidental low blow, so he sort of saves the feud for a
Yeah.
minute.
So he cheated a little bit, got the heel, pop that he needed, won the #1 contendership, and now we're going into Breeze and Neville. We'll see how long they drag that out on NXT, because apparently the next special that NXT is supposed to have is probably at the beginning of fall, end of summer.
It'll
what
be at the
Triple
end of
H-
August, probably.
I think, yeah, it'll probably be around SummerSlam time, because they want to do these specials quarterly, apparently. They don't want to do it every month. Which is probably good, seeing how it's just a developmental program, and they're also only 1 hour long, so you can't really go through storylines quickly. You have to really drag them out when it's just an hour-long show.
They could easily be 2 hours because of the network.
Oh yeah, they could, especially if they shoot them if they shoot 2 hour, or if they shoot their regular 4 hours and they make them 2-hour shows, because then they would be shooting 2 shows every 2 weeks rather than the 4 that they do right now.
Yeah, makes it easier on them, but logic.
Chris Christopherson is in the crowd tonight. His
The
son
dude from Blade.
His son Jody, aka Garrett Dillon, is an NXT talent. So
I've never heard of him.
Garrett Dillon, he was managed by Sylvester LaFour with Scott Dawson and Garrett Dillon.
Ow, my leg.
That was
Scott Dawson is no longer around because he's all breaking his leg every 3 weeks.
yeah. He's actually really good. I actually like Scott Dawson. Hopefully he can get healthy and come back. Charlotte versus Natalya for the vacant NXT Women's title.
Woo!
Great match. Probably Divas match of the year right now.
Easily.
Easily.
Brett Flair had a stroke.
And
Brett
Brett didn't give 2 shits.
Nope.
Yeah, that was a match 5 out of 10, I guess.
He originally was booked for an indie show or a contract signing, but apparently that got dropped.
That's probably why he didn't care, because he probably would have made more money on the indie show.
No, probably not. I think WWE had him settled good.
We're talking about Brett?
We're talking about the Divas match. I think Charlotte and Natalya got great work out of each other. I think Natalya really had some respect for Charlotte coming out of that match. I think Charlotte looked great. I think she's a natural at wrestling. I'm saying right now, while she looks dirty as fuck, and that mole, I hope it gets bitten off by Rusev or someone one of these days. I think Charlotte's going to be a really big diva in the future. I think she could be one of the biggest divas in the WWE in the next 2 years.
Yeah, I like how before the match they had a promo of her saying, if you saw a video of me 2 years ago and compare it to me now, it's night and day, and she is totally right.
Yeah. She's crazy improved. From her mic work, because she used to stutter a lot. She used to, she was not great on the mic. But I always saw her talent. She's a former gymnast. She's very, very athletic, and having the Flair bloodline behind you.
That doesn't necessarily mean anything, because look at David Flair.
But
Yeah, David was bad.
yeah, but I think David was completely different than Charlotte. I think Charlotte had the athletic ability that David didn't have.
Charlotte had the ability to be trained by Sarah Del Rey.
And that too. I think that's another big factor. I cannot wait for the divas who've been trained by Sarah to come out and debut.
She had Sarah Del Rey, and then she had Finley in the background.
But
Finley can
Finley
only get you
too.
So far, come on.
Like Alexa Bliss, she's a model, a fitness model. I think she's gonna be a great high flyer. She that looks like that's what they're trying to mold her into, as a good high flyer, and she just has so many years ahead of her. But yeah, great match out of Charlotte and Natalya.
Did you feel like Natty carried her?
Oh,
No,
most.
I felt it was completely equal.
I feel Charlotte definitely was able to get her stuff in. I felt she knew how to work with Natalya. I felt Charlotte was very good as a follower to Natalya's leading. But I also feel that Charlotte can lead as well when she needs to, but she needs more work on that. But as a follower,
When you're able to work that technical of a match,
yeah,
you're equal footing.
yeah. If you can work and you can make it look good. There's a lot of people who don't make submission matches like that, like technical strong
They
matches
don't
like
do that anymore.
and it doesn't look good at all. But Charlotte was very natural
I tend
into
to-
getting into those submission moves, into the technical work, and it worked well.
Yeah, I tend to agree. On Twitter, there was quite a bit of Natty is carrying Charlotte. I didn't
that's
feel it.
Twitter overhyping Natty. Come on.
Yeah, I wasn't buying it, and I was kind of throwing it back at him for a while. But then it was pretty clear to me. I don't know if you buy this or not, but it seemed pretty clear to me that Charlotte blew up about 2/3 in, and she had to fight the rest of the way. And I think Natty had to carry that part of the match. But the end, she gutted it out. And I think on the whole, it was a very, very good match for both.
Yeah, again, Charlotte's not. She's only been wrestling for 2 years now. And for someone who's been wrestling 2 years and can get a good match out of a very veteran worker,
Very
where
impressed.
a lot of other divas still can't pull on the quality of match that they put on that night.
Yep, very impressed.
Charlotte has a bright future. Very, very bright future. We'll move on. Charlotte won. She's the new NXT Women's Champion. Good job for her. We're gonna probably see a feud with Bayley coming up. Continuing that, we're gonna see Becky Lynch debuting in a couple weeks.
Not clear?
No, not Claire Lynch. We're fucking glad on that.
Okay, let's not relive that angle, please. That was the third time in my life.
Yeah.
Last thing on the match, how much do you want to bet that when Charlotte gets called up, she's adding the Flair to her name?
Charlotte Flair?
Nah, they'll change. They'll end up repackaging her name.
They'll just treat her like Tamina and constantly mention that she's the son of Ric, or the daughter of Ric Flair.
That explains a few things, actually.
Yeah, that manly ass shoulders and jaw and whatever.
Jaw.
And the
She's
mole.
purty.
I'd fuck it.
She's purty.
Latino
And
already
very,
did.
she's a very mom-looking person,
But she looks like she could get dirty and freaky when
Yeah.
she wants.
Greg,
I-
you have
You
Greg,
are.
you have low standards.
I'm not commenting on that.
I got low standards. Mike, you like Devin Shit Taylor.
Hey, you leave my little princess alone, alright?
Oh my god. Let's move on from this creep fest with the WWE NXT title match, Tyson Kidd and Adrian Neville.
Did
Oh my
anybody
God.
think that Tyson had a chance here?
No.
No.
Adrian Neville just won the championship, and I don't think there was any way that they were going to let him drop it. I think Triple H has Neville as the guy for NXT probably until mid-fall.
So this was just another bury the hearts opportunity.
I wouldn't say that, and this is why I would say it. Did you catch those promos that they were airing before the pay-per-view
Uh huh.
with Natalia and Tyson?
Uh huh.
There are rumors that WWE wants to repackage him with a mask. They want to put a lucha mask on him, and apparently that's already in the works.
Yep.
I
Bury
don't.
the hearts.
I don't say it's to bury the hearts. I would more say it's to make Tyson look good, and it's to give Tyson a reason to get back onto TV. And I think we will see Tyson back on TV. I don't know where he would fit on TV. They just debuted
Big
Bo
card.
Dallas, and they just debuted Adam Rose.
And a bunch of others.
And they're still looking to bring up Sami Zayn. They're still looking to bring up the Ascension.
Yeah, they just did Rusev. They just did.
Yeah, they brought up Rusev as well.
They're legitimately gonna have to bring back the brand split with all this talent coming in.
Xavier Woods.
Yeah,
I know that,
Xavier Woods has been kind of jobbed out as of recently.
He's been called. He's been up for a while though. He's been up since the fall.
No, he's been up after Rumble.
I thought he was up before the Rumble.
No, because he had that feud with
Rose Clay for the thing,
yeah, and they took his team and then did nothing with it.
and then he changed it.
Oh no, I think that was before the Rumble.
Yeah, it was before the Rumble because he was
Yeah.
actually in the Rumble, and
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. All right. Yeah, you're right. As for this match, what'd you guys think?
Eh.
I didn't watch. I didn't see it.
Really?
Nah.
I thought this was a really good match. And the only thing I would say, what was a big plus about this match, is that it proves that no matter your size, guys like Tyson Kidd and Adrian Neville can still put on a fucking show in a main event. And will make you leaving that main event feeling like, okay, that was probably worth the $10 this month I'm paying for the WWE Network.
I don't think anybody doubts that, but I'm not sure that.
No,
you
I
really
think there
bank
are.
on that at the next level.
I think there is
If-
someone who doubts that, and that person
What?
is Vincent K. McMahon.
Yeah,
He's gonna die
but
soon.
yeah, I mean, but it's fine in NXT. I think you can always sell somebody on a great match
And
on a low level show.
And if there was anybody that sold that idea to, it was Triple H. Because if Triple H is going to be the one going in and booking, and you know, do you want him to be just like Vince McMahon and not giving Tyson Kidd or Adrian Neville or Sami Zayn a chance just because they're small guys? I think if there's anybody who wanted to be proven that these smaller guys can main event on a stage that was very important, it's Triple H. And since Triple H now sees this as potential to be a main event caliber, you know, style with Adrian Neville or Tyson Kidd, he would probably have more of a reason to push these guys on the main roster once he gives more power to the booking.
I don't know. I
I'm
don't.
just gonna
I don't see anything proven there.
I'm just gonna say it felt like that Okada Goto match a while ago, where it came after Ishii and Naito, where it's like it probably would have been a better match if it didn't come off a great match right before it.
Okay,
Felt two
that
great
makes
matches right
sense.
before it.
That makes sense. I could see that. I still thought it was a really good match. They really got some great spots in, and their style is very molded very well. So if you guys want to take a look on it, if you have the WWE Network, go check it out. If not, Watch Wrestling has it. You go check it out there. That's it for NXT. The show's gone on a little too long. We're already an hour and 30 minutes in. So want to do Pop, Flop, and Botch?
Is Death still here, or is he gone?
I don't know.
I am still here.
Hey, Death, you want to start off our Pop, Flop, and Botch?
You're supposed to speak, son.
Just to let
Sure, why not?
Mark know what our Pop, Flop, and Botch is. Pop is essentially someone you want to give praise to who did well during the
Someone
week.
or something.
Someone or something. We don't really. By the end of the show, we don't
We have
really
no standards
compare
what we
it to wrestling anymore. Give it pop to something. Flop is someone who didn't do so good or something that just didn't happen good in the week. And botch is just someone who fucked up or just a big fuck you. Doesn't really matter.
Wow.
You understand when we go through it.
I do. All right.
Dad, you start.
All right, sure. My pop is actually gonna go to the Wyatt Cena match from tonight.
All
It
right.
was actually like one of a couple matches that I actually enjoyed out of the pay-per-view. My flop goes to the fucking thunderstorm that was in the area earlier tonight because due to that, my laptop shut off just as the crazy Seth Rollins spot happened in the main event.
Oh,
No.
wow. That sucks.
Like, just as he was getting ready to jump off the Titantron, my laptop shut off.
That's bad. That was
And
a good spot.
And my botch... I just gotta give my botch to Greg, just because.
Awesome. I love you, baby. Anyway.
Uh,
Doug, Ryan, go.
Pop goes to that new Wolfenstein game. It's actually kind of fun. It's more fun than I thought it would be. Our flop goes to these random rains that keep just happening. Like, at one point I was taking out my dog and just one cloud was hanging over me, and that one cloud just happened to have rain, so I had to go in because it was actually getting heavy. And flop, Watch Dogs, it sucks.
Yeah, that's true. Mike?
Pop goes to Mario Kart 8. That game is amazing. Flop goes to TNA because apparently they had a house show today and couldn't even fill up a gym.
They couldn't fill up a row of a gym.
Yeah, and my botch goes to Twitter because they're stupid and they believe a random kid on Twitter, was signed as a creative team assistant to the WWE. I'm kidding you not.
Oh, man.
This kid
Twitter.
this kid is going around saying he's a team assistant.
Oh,
and-
my God.
They believe it.
Alright, Mark?
Let's give the pop to Charlotte and Natalia.
Awesome.
Let's give the flop to the Smurf wear for Bautista.
Yes.
And the botch, let's give that an actual botch in the Breeze Zane match.
Oh, yeah, the which one? The mess up where they decided to do the Blue Thunder Bomb?
Yeah.
I mean, the
Yeah.
Orange Crush is... The Blue Thunder Bomb is when
They're-
he
they're-
spins it.
Yeah, there was another one they botched, but I
The
can't
obvious
remember.
one.
Yeah,
Oh, but by the way,
You
speaking
can't
of
fault
botch,
anyone for fucking that up. There's no reason he hasn't done that in the NXT yet.
speaking of botch,
I don't mind him messing it up, but it was pretty visible.
yeah.
speaking of botches that I don't think anybody mentioned, the moonsault that Cody Rhodes tried to do in the tag match.
Complete miss.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. That was...
What's his name?
he kind
Dang
of...
it, it's late at night. Seth had a complete whiff too.
No, he did like a mid rotation and just back elbow dropped both of them.
He went straight into, like, Ryback's face. It was weird. Let me do my pop and botch before we end this. My pop goes to... Man, I just had it, and then... Oh, Game of Thrones tonight. I'm gonna watch that. Fucking so hyped. My
You
flop...
don't get hype.
You stay hyped. My flop goes to the to the Blackhawks for losing. You pathetic. Now you have me sitting through my botch, which is the Stanley Cup Finals of the Kings and the New York Rangers. So that's not going to be fun. Anyways,
Oh. You just reminded me of my other pop, which was Mojo Rawley getting fucking destroyed on NXT.
oh yeah, by Rusev, wasn't it? And apparently
Yeah.
that's continuing for the next couple weeks.
He
Oh, no.
clearly was unable to stay hype.
Yeah. That's it for the Arc of Wrestling podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Remember to like and comment this video. Remember to also go check us out on twitter.com/Arc of Wrestling. Go check out Senshudo.tv. If you like New Legacy and you like It's Raining Men, go check out Shinshiro.tv, the home of all of them. Great cast, great community.
We're there too sometimes.
Yeah, we're there when we stream, which
Ever.
is
Just like
not
one
a lot. We should stream more. I'll send that out as a memo for the rest of the guys. And also, thanks to our new rookie member right now, Rensis Mark. What's up? Thanks. Do you want to plug? I don't know.
What's up?
Do you want to plug your?
What's up? What's up?
Oh, mind you, Mark here has more Twitter followers than us. He's up to like 2,000 or something. You fucking
We're half
ass. Yeah, we're like half. So
Pushing 3.
pushing
So we
3.
should be thanking him, really.
Are you like? Did you have like a blog or something before this?
No, I pretty much built it just through Twitter, doing live tweets and
Wow.
being invited to great content like this with the ARC guys. I appreciate it. You can find me on all the social things at Rensis, WRENCIS, and I am Mark Problems. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks guys for joining us for Arc of Wrestling Podcast. We will be back. We're not doing a podcast on Monday because of this podcast. Next Monday.
Monday.
Yeah, we'll talk about Best of the Juniors, New Japan Pro Wrestling. They've been doing their shows. We'll see who wins. I'm not sure if it's done yet.
It's not done.
R.I.P. Alex Kozlov.
I do believe that Payback, our
It's
Slammiversary show,
Slammiversary.
yeah, is coming up on the 15th. So remember to check out that, and we're also will be doing another show for Money in the Bank, and that will be our last show.
You forgot the shit. You forgot the Best in the World show.
Best in the World too. We will be doing that as well. Completely forgot that Ring of Honor is having that pay-per-view. So we will be covering the main indie pay-per-views as well. And remember to check those out. This will be the last our Money in the Bank show will be our last show for the summer. We will be back for SummerSlam after Money in the Bank. So hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.